This is a short introduction to a package I use in the classroom called Livetiles Mosaic. A VLE, or Virtual Learning Environment, is a full-featured package for delivering learning online. A VLE, however, is not always needed when students have a good physical learning environment, and teachers simply want to use some blended learning to provide access to online materials and resources to supplement their classroom learning. Collating and presenting these online resources, however, can be difficult, and for that reason many teachers resort to a VLE simply to manage those resources and neglect all the other features in a VLE. Mosaic is a way of managing and presenting online resources to students in a way that's visually appealing and easy to use without resorting to a full VLE package and all the complications that entails. Mosaic is an app which can be added to a Microsoft SharePoint site. SharePoint is an enormously powerful online service for managing a wide range of resources. The native interface provided, however, could not be called easy to use or visually appealing. Mosaic is a way of presenting SharePoint resources and other links and online resources in a way which follows good, modern user experience design principles. Mosaic makes use of a tile-based technology. Users of Windows operating systems will be familiar with tiles as a way of presenting information on their desktop. Mosaic puts that technology in the hands of teachers.
Okay, so it's probably a good time now to have a look at how Mosaic actually works. This isn't going to be a full tutorial on Mosaic, but it'll just be an introduction to how it works so that you can make a decision about whether you think it might be suitable for you to use for your classes. Now, when you begin to make a page, you're presented with this design view, and the way it works is that you have a range of these tiles here, app tiles, and these can be placed on the page and configured to provide information on the page. So, for instance, first thing we might want to do is to put a heading on our page. So I'll go to the Accessories tab here, and I'll just put a text tile on the page. So I'll drag my text tile to the position where I want it. Change the size of it a bit because it's going to be a heading, so I want it to be fairly big, so just drag that out. Now to configure the tile, I just click on it, and a window will appear which will allow me to configure the tile. And this is a heading, so my title name will just be the name of my class, which will be a conversational Latin class. And now I can configure the font. 13 point is too small, so I'll make that around about 44 point. And I'll change the colour from black to something more visually appealing like blue. Now when I submit that, you'll see that the heading appears on the page. Now we might want to embed a YouTube clip under that for my students to watch. So this time I'll use the multi-text line tool, and I'll drag that down underneath my heading and drop that there. And I'll just size that a little bit now so that it's a good size for a YouTube clip. Place that there. Now if I click on that tool, it'll give me a box here for text, and all I need to do is to paste in the embedding code from the YouTube web page, which you can get, and submit that, and that will then embed that YouTube clip in position there. Might need to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Cool. Okay, so I've got my YouTube clip embedded. Now I might also want to have a Facebook feed, for instance, if I've got a class Facebook page, and I might just put that down the right hand side here. This time I'll need the Apps tab, and along here you'll find there's a Facebook tile which I just need to drag and position on my page. Put that in next to the video clip there, and I'll configure that with the name of the Facebook page that I would like to have there. Just my college one for the moment will be fine as an illustration, and click submit, and you'll see the college Facebook page appears there. Now the background currently is white. It's a little bit boring. Let's just change the background. So we'll go to page settings, and here I can set up various things about my page, whether there's a margin, page style, how big the content area is, different things like that. I can also put in a background color or a background image. Now probably just choose a color at this stage because I haven't got an image that I wanted to use. So I'll click on color chooser, and I can select a color, or I can actually click on more colors and put in the RGB codes for a color or the hex codes for a color I like. But I'll just select one of these, perhaps that one, and place that in. Okay, so my page is starting to grow, and I can continue to add tiles doing different things, links to websites, different resources in my SharePoint site and other things like that. And when I'm happy with it, I can save it and make it available to my students. We'll just have a look at what we've got so far here. And you can see my page is starting to grow quite nicely.
Here are some examples of Mosaic pages that I've prepared for some of my classes. And as you can see, although things look simple in principle with boxes or tiles on the screen, it's quite possible to get a whole range of different styles and appearances on your web pages. So, in summary, students should have access to resources online which supplement their classroom learning. A VLE is generally not the best solution when a course does not have to be presented online, but many students resort to a VLE when all they really need to do is present those resources in an organised and useful way. Mosaic provides an easy-to-use way of collecting and presenting online resources to students without having to use a full VLE environment.